Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to another video. This is Fishman vlog number 44, and as you can see, I've made some more progress on the acrylic workstation. I've got the boiled linseed oil on now, and it just needs to set in a little bit more, and then I'll be able to start doing all my builds for acrylic on this. And it's so handy having all the long sheets to store it here on the side. I just know how much material I have. I don't have to go looking for anything. And once I have the drawers done, which are going to fit on the left-hand side as you saw there, these are two of them. And once they're in there, I'll be able to put all the smaller bits and pieces as well in that and a few other things. And it's just going to have everything so much more organized that hopefully I won't spend too much time just looking for things. I won't show you the build for this, but I am planning on doing that second channel where I'm going to do just building. And I will every now and then, if there's something of interest for you guys, like a template or something for a particular thing that's good for making filters or whatever, I'll let you know here, and you guys can pop over and have a look if you're interested. So most of what I'm going to talk about today are these cultures. I have currently 12 of this size culture of vinegar eels. Vinegar eels are probably the easiest thing in the universe to culture, and the only downside is it's so easy to forget and not subculture them every now and then. It has been over a year since I set these up, and so what I'm going to do now is when they make it through the rotation, they come to the front. Two of them, do them in pairs, so two of them will be used for feeding baby fish. And then two of them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to decant off, without stirring too much of that sludge you see in the bottom, into two fresh jars. Now, these are actually two fresh jars. I don't really need more. I think 12 is enough of these cultures. It does seem I can rotate them and rotate them quite often and still have plenty of vinegar eels for feeding the baby fish. So I don't think I need more. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set these two new jars up. And there you can see all the sludge in the bottom of that. And that just accumulates. And it's every now and then. I don't actually know, to tell you the truth, whether or not that is detrimental to the growth of the culture. It just seems to get there, accumulate. And whenever I actually do take worms, take culture out of this to separate out the worms, I do stir them up, so I do remove some of that sludge. But I think it's just probably a good idea every now and then just to try and keep that under control as much as possible. So that is just pure apple cider vinegar, and it's also, of course, the vinegar eel. So I took the old jars out, I rinsed them out. You can see a little bit of film on the top. What I'm going to do is, after I'm done this, is I'll take a bottle brush to that, and I'll clean that all out as well. And what I'm going to do now is I poured all of them into one jar, and I'm just going to divide it up into two. And on the left, you can see it says pure white vinegar there in that jar. It's not. It is apple cider vinegar diluted 50% with, well, I'm using, actually, believe it or not, distilled water. It comes from the dehumidifier. Not necessary. You can just use tap water. It's perfectly fine. And these are the old bits of apple. I've rinsed them now, and I'm going to put two of those in and two fresh apples. Again, I don't really know if it's necessary to cycle the apples. It's just something I'm going to do because it's rather easy and straightforward to do. And as you can see, it's not hard to do. This, if you're going to culture anything, this is the most forgiving and the most simple. You do need, if you're going to breed a fair number of fish, you do need a number of these cultures, because you do have to rotate them. You can't just keep harvesting from one culture. You need to let them build up again. They're not as speedy as microworms that way, but with the dozen I have, even with all the fish breeding I do, I don't ever seem to run out of them. There always seems to be plenty to harvest. I don't think you need that many, of course, but I think in the average fish room you have 4 or 5 of these. I think you'd have more than enough. But there you go. That's as easy as that is. And again, I don't think it was necessary, but it is something I like to do. I like to keep my cultures as fresh as possible. And because I'm only going to do 2 of the 12 every time I do a cycle, this is going to go down to the back of the rotation. By the time it makes it up to the front, I'll check to see how dense the population is in it. And then I'll decide how many of these I want to do. And I'll probably just every month do one of them. And that's pretty much all there's going to be to it. And then I'll just, like I said, that way don't use up too much vinegar, and it will, I won't end up not having enough vinegar eels. This is in here simply because I wanted to show you how clear this is getting. This is the planter filter this is Java moss. And I'm getting some really interesting results from Java moss, if you remember from the last time. I wanted to show you this clip because it is growing. You can see in here it is filling this up quite nicely. And it is going to be probably one of the main things I want to talk about when I do the next filters versus ammonia in this experimental run I'm doing. It is very interesting, and I won't really, I don't want to give too much away right now. The other thing I want to talk about is this. I've been pretty much highlighting this every Sunday vlog now, but as you can see, there's 3 new leaves on this. Well, 2 new leaves and 1 new sprout at the bottom there. This plant's doing really well. I'm very happy with it. And this, I'm going to call it a prayer plant because it looks like one. I can't remember its real name. It's sending out 2 new leaves, which is really nice. That's also really good. Obviously, the pothos is growing. It's fine. I shouldn't really diss it that much, but you can't kill that plant. And these are also doing really well. I'm glad that the Luna plant is sending out lots of new leaves. I'm going to have a fair number of these, I think, in that big palliatorium build I'm doing. So the faster these grow, the better, because I want to divide them up, and I want to have some here and grow some there. So they got to get growing. And I just want to show you the internals of this tank because it isn't affecting, well, not in a negative way anyway, the guppy population. You see they're all growing quite nicely. They're good and colorful and healthy and active and all the things they need to be. And the plants just keep growing. So I'm going to call this a little experiment of putting the planters on the side of the tank a success as far as its effects on the plants that are growing in the aquarium as well. Now I set up some black skirt tetras here with a little pot of Java moss in there, and I'm hoping that they're going to breed. I'm going to pull this out in a few days and see if I get any eggs, and then I'm just going to keep doing that until they spawn. It's not hard to spawn black tetras, so I don't think it's going to be an issue, but you never know. I mean, they may not like my water. And this is the tank that has the updated version for the leak-proof canister filter. it really isn't. It is mostly like a bog style filter, but I keep calling it the same thing as that was what it was originally designed from. And as you can see, I have a new plant in here as well. I'm hoping that will grow too, and they're all doing quite well. They need to be planted, actually, is what they need. And these guys are doing amazing, and I might make some spawning mops for these. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Because I would like to have a little bit more controlled spawning of this. Right now they're just spawning in the Java moss, as you can see in the back. I was kind of hoping to wait and see if there's going to be some fry free swimming in the tank, but they may just end up eating them. I'm not sure about that. We'll see how that goes, and I might not, or might, depending on how it goes, do something about that as well. This is, I think, their 6th spawn. But the problem, I think, now is there's some good-sized plecos in this tank, and I think the plecos are eating the eggs in the middle of the night. I'm going to have to pull the plecos out because I do want to get another one of these batches, because the other ones, as you're going to see in a few minutes here, are growing quite nicely. And I'm in the process of those 7-foot aquariums on the far side of the fish room that you never get to see. I am cleaning them all out. I'm going to put a lot of those fish into clients' tanks. And then the top tank I'm going to have as an angel and guppy grow tank. So that's going to be coming up as well. So hopefully I'll have that for you in a couple weeks. So the last clip, of course, is the little juveniles here. They're doing really nicely. I keep saying I need to cull them out, and I really, really do, but I have to wait for that 7-foot tank to do so. So I think it's going to have to wait for that, because I really do want to give them a lot of space to grow out, and I'm going to need that tank for it. So thank you very much for watching. Leave lots of comments. Let me know what you think about all this, and I'll let you know when that other channel is up and running. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.